Welcome back to Alright Podcast. Hope everybody had a great holiday. I'm coming to you all on the other side of the new year. Got a big one on the docket. I'm actually less than 24 hours away. I'm going to be talking about the Vikings and the Lions, playing for that one seed, playing for the division title. We're diving into that game to give our key previews or thoughts around how we think the game will go. We're going to talk about Michigan football. They were able to beat Bama for the second time in the same calendar year um, in the Reliaquest Bowl. It's great momentum going into the next season, going into the spring ball. We're also going to talk about our Detroit Pistons, who are also 7-3 in their last 10 games. I want to roll. Just ended up beating the Timberwolves, who was Western Conference Finals team by 15 tonight. K dropped a little 40 piece. So a lot of good things going on in Detroit and Michigan sports right now. So, that being said, I'll kick it over to you, E. Wanted to see your thoughts on this Minnesota Detroit matchup at Ford Field Sunday night.
Yeah, I would say it's a major matchup. It's biggest football game of 2025 so far. And just for kind of all the marbles, you can control your own destiny a little more if you go out and win this. You get home field advantage throughout. You're playing with the number one seed. You get that bye. For Lions' sake, you get a little more healthy. Just kind of shore up some things. You can kind of let off the pedal a little bit. They've been so focused on going hard all season that and we had that bye super early in the year. So like week what, 6, 5. So I
Yeah,
think they could use that extra week versus going on the road, having just a tougher slate to get to where you want to. But as far as focusing on the game, it's it's our game to go take. I think we know we have we're coming in with. Gibbs is playing on fire. Golf has been playing great the last 4 or 5 weeks. Clean football. You're working in Laporta a little more. He's getting a little more active. JMO's
yeah,
been on the top off every defense we play. Just toying with players. He's the real X factor that we hoped he would become. He has did that. And then you got the reliable St. Brown. Obviously, I think since the last time we talked, I'm not sure if we even mentioned it, but obviously Montgomery has went down. So we're working in additional players, and that shows you the strength of the offensive line.
yeah,
The offensive line needs to continue to be stout, needs to keep Golf standing tall so he can be confident in that pocket. And I think all that playoff type games start here. This is I would say a playoff game basically. You know where you're playing for. You have to you don't have to win to get in. It's not one of those type of situations, but you don't want to back into the playoffs. I think you want to go in with the momentum of the division, locking up that first seed as well, and then just getting all the glory that comes with that, and having an easier route to get to that Super Bowl, which is what the buzz is around here. It has been since we reaching the championship game last year.
mhm,
So it's you know, I think it's ours for the taking. And
for sure.
it's just and I feel pretty good in it. Oh, maybe a little overly confident, but I feel like you start that glorious path to the Super Bowl with this win here. And it yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm with you, man. I mean, I think the offense, I mean, this has been great the last couple weeks, just watching um, the offense pretty much just like dominate and still leave a little bit of meat on the bone. And I imagine we're gonna put together, and I do feel like I'm confident we're gonna put together our best game of the season Sunday night because we know what's at stake and understand what's at stake, and you understand how much that one seed help us get to where we want to get to. So um, I feel like where we're at, it's like you pretty much hit on the head just with the offense coming together at the right time. Jameer Gibbs, being RB1 has looked great last couple of weeks. And I know there's kind of a concern of like, a little bit of, having to take on more of a load. I mean, they've done a good job of feeding the ball quite a bit, along with working other guys in. Like you said already, like a reporter started to get going. I was looking forward to this. I think this defense, I know all the talk has just been about how they're depleted, and we are. But I do think that, as they continue to play together like this new crew, I feel like, we're supposed to be getting Anzalone back tomorrow. We're going to be getting a guy or two back with the next couple of weeks. Some guys in the secondary. I do feel like we got enough to where I think even tomorrow we're gonna get a turnover or two. I think Darnold, he's had a great season, and I could definitely see him, putting a ball or two out there. And I feel like, yeah, our offense is gonna do what they need to do on that side of the ball. I think we're gonna have just enough to win this game by a touchdown.
Yeah. I think it's you made a lot of great points, and I think it's looking at that first game that we played, when we played them, they've kind of been the surprise team of the division.
Hmm.
I think we knew kind of what we would be, somewhere in this ballpark. Chicago is kind of been the egg one that fell flat. Green Bay's been kind of fighting, right in the hunt, but a step or two behind us in Minnesota the whole year. And you look at that, that's one of the more tough games. They jumped out on us early. We had to come back, play very sound football. If I remember correctly, I think we got sacked 4 or 5 times in that first game. A couple of premier edge rushers. Andrew
Yeah,
Van Ginkle. I think he can be a dog. He can be a difference maker. And I think that's one thing with our offensive line. I want to, kind of get in that playoff form. I want to see them let Goff stand tall, see them move players out the way so Gibbs can get busy. You get Gibbs to that secondary or second line of defense, the linebackers, safeties. He can put a move on people and have some real difference makers, 20, 30, 40-yard home runs. And I think that only helps kind of spur the whole offense. I think you spoke on the defense going to make a play. I think Kirby Joseph is probably going to come fired up. He's been snubbed from the Pro Bowl. We know what Branch brings every week. I think I read. Oh my God, I can't think of his exact information, but some contract incentive for Zazarius Smith.
oh
He,
yeah,
I think
and
two
two
sacks.
sacks.
He gets a nice little. I don't want to make it up, but like, yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
a couple 100,000, 500,000, 3, 4, some enough to
yeah,
make enough to go out and get busy this weekend. So I think we'll have some difference makers that way as well. Some players playing for some big checks, and outside of the moment itself. So I'm looking forward to it, and it's kind of, this is really our first playoff game. And, I think
for
that's the
sure.
mindset we have to have. That crowd is going to be fired up, and if the crowd does the job, the team does his job, coaches do their job. We're having home field advantage for the next 3 4 weeks at the home at the crib. So I'm hoping we can put together that game. You talked about the best game of the season potentially. I think yeah, it's time. Now's the time to do that. Put that together in the regular season, and then we need to
Hmm.
rest for that week and put together a consecutive best games of the season on the way to that Super Bowl.
Sure. And yeah, I think just talk through the scenario here as far as like winning that game and then like what it looks like on the flip side. Because I don't think for me, like we're gonna win that game. I'm gonna say it with confidence. For whatever reason we don't, we got to go to see the Rams or the Buccaneers. And I think
Yeah,
it's going to most likely be the Rams, just kind of based off of they're sitting all their starters tomorrow, and the Bucks are pretty much having to play their way into the playoffs. So that's another thing to kind of think about as far as what that path could look like. I think just from like a schedule standpoint, like we could find ourselves back at home. The second week we had to go on the road the first week, or from like a record standpoint, depending on who loses.
yeah,
If I think that's the case, but we won't even have to dive in on that a whole lot because I am confident that we're going to pull out this game, and I'll go ahead and jump out with a score prediction to kind of kick things off there. And I do feel like it's going to be I'll say 34-27
mm,
final score for me. What do you
good
think?
deal. I'm right in that same ballpark. But just not to give the same score, I go 34-24. But I think you're spot on, right somewhere in that ballpark. Somewhere we pull away. I can't tell whether we're going to have that constant momentum throughout the game, hovering around that 10-point lead, or whether it'll be a close game. We pull away, mid
Yeah,
court, and kind of blow the doors off that way. But I think we'll see what the team was made out of, because this is this is what you're playing for, man. This is big time. And I mean, has
yeah,
the Lions ever won a division in back-to-back years? I mean, probably not since the
I think
50s.
so.
So it'd
Yeah,
be, yeah, not since Dwight Eisenhower was president. It's not
for
been,
sure.
it's,
Yeah,
so
been a little
I'm
bit.
looking forward to it, man. We got a squad. Almost for the podcast, went and threw some Lions gear on. But no, I'm gonna save it for tomorrow. It'll be my good luck shirt. Yeah,
Sure. Oh yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Now they turn the page here. As we look to just talk about Michigan Wolverines and how they've just finished when it comes to football, just finished off the season spectacular fashion. Obviously getting that win at Ohio State, to end the regular season, and then New Year's Eve here a few days ago, just kicked Alabama in the teeth. Really just strong armed them to death, found a way to score, 19 points, rely on that kicking game, kind of jumped on them early and really just held, this I'd say a pretty impressive draft prospect in Jalen Milroe to a pretty bad game. So yeah, just wanted to kind of see your thoughts, EO, with that game. When you watched that game and how things kind of went down.
Yeah, no. So I guess first and foremost, I don't probably nothing I stated on the podcast, but I was openly saying I didn't want to play Alabama in the ball game. I was like, I didn't, and so
But yeah, you already
yeah,
saw it.
yeah. I openly apologized to the squad, just saying I didn't want to see that. And we played night and day different. I thought with every player that could get drafted on our squad basically sitting out, from both the running backs to both the D tackles. Will
Yeah,
Johnson we haven't seen since you know mid
Illinois game.
mid yeah, so early November or something. So so I was expecting the young guys would go get some spin out there, and like the Jordan Marshalls, just kind of I wasn't expecting what we see exactly. So I was highly thrilled. I think that defense came firing. I think we've seen some young guys spread throughout there. I'm blanking my man, but the guy that got the pick, he was a young guy that we hadn't seen much throughout the year. You seen players that declared they were coming back just have games. We're sitting around texting whether Derek Moore is going to say he's going to go pro or not. Is because this is
Two
just how
sacks,
this
forced
how
fumble.
crazy he's going. In the first half of the game. So it's those are the type of things that I think brings a lot of momentum into the year. All things considering, we finished 8-5. Did not have a quarterback this year. Played musical chairs with quarterbacks. Had a seventh year senior retire on us in midseason. It's I think we had a lot of craziness happening in that quarterback room, and to finish the season 8-5, paced together like we did with just kind of a randomness of quarterbacks that was very promising. And just not to look too far ahead, but that game was I was just very thrilled. Obviously not a very sexy game. We pulled it out, but anytime you can beat Bama, you're going to take that and run with it. But looking forward,
Abs-
you got Bryce Underwood, you got Jordan Marshall, you got my man from Bama that just transferred to us. Man, the
Oh yeah,
redneck
Justin Haynes, yeah,
just days. We
rolling.
we got I think I read we have like the third or fourth best transfer class and like a top 10 recruiting class. So
Hmm.
I think you pace both those together. That's how these teams are winning championships and staying afloat. They're getting the young talents, some people they can cultivate, some people they can grow, and then they're sprinkling in those big time transfers. So, I think we made the right decision. Even the offense looked different. Back to the Bama game a little bit. I even thought the offense, the just kind of the rhythm we were playing at felt different. It kind of
Cleaner.
we were helping, yeah, cleaner. We were helping the quarterback out, just dinking and dunking to move the ball a little bit. I think that even gave me promise that okay, maybe, you know, even though we don't have quarterbacks, maybe it's a little bit on Kirk Campbell a little more than we think. And just look forward to what we can do, man. I think we'll be back in that playoffs.
Sure. Now, and honestly, man, like it might not be much of a drop off on the defensive side of the ball. I mean, I'm pulling up the box score here. I mean, he held them to 68 rushing yards. And this, I know it ain't Nick Saban's Bama, but it's a lot of guys that he recruited and
Yep.
had, that he left behind. So, I mean, Milroe was 16 and 32 for 192 yards, a touchdown and an interception. He really just was kind of whooping on them, beat him down pretty good. Held the receiver, that little stars freshman receiver they got to 3 catches for 8 yards.
Yep.
And that, yeah, like I said, though, it really did start with that D line where I felt like there's a lot of guys like Rayshon Benny, Eno Etta,
Guy.
Cameron,
Yep.
TJ Guy, Derek. You already touched on Derek Moore. Really was just like closing in that pocket and And it honestly looked like one team thought there was a chance of rain for the game, another team
Yeah,
never
thought it was
played
gonna
in rain
be.
before in their life. So that was also something that was kind of just interesting to watch. Like, especially you would think the team that is probably worse on offense, like us, might have had more trouble in the rain.
Yeah.
Whereas, Bama, it was the exact opposite. And Bama was out there with the wrong cleats and everything.
No, that's a
So,
great point, and that goes not, and you can keep going, but that goes to the bigger picture as far as the confidence in the coaching, confidence, and
mhm.
that's like a sound vet coach that would figure out what cleats you need on thing, something you don't even think about because that should just be done and figured out. Uh,
Yeah.
and yeah, so just I agree with you on that. That was
I,
shocking to me. It was such a I could clearly see that it was happening, but it was also like I can't believe this is happening right now. Like this is like amateur
right.
hour. They swapped him out after the first drive. You gonna set him out there for
Yeah.
damn near a half? It was crazy.
Yeah, it was nuts. I mean, like, I mean, just watching Miro fumble the ball, like, just couldn't get no traction. Like, I was just kind of confused because we got out there. I mean, there was not a whole lot of slipping going on at all
No,
on our side of things. And yeah, just a lot more prepared. We ain't gonna definitely gonna talk on Bama a whole lot, but they ain't really going in the right direction for at least how things is looking now. But to be able to put together another game like we did, 75 passing yards, 115 rushing yards, and just strong arm top 15 team, probably the last team left out the playoff. Like that's just great way to start the new year instead of going into spring ball and all that.
yeah, no, I agree. And just a second something you said, beating him twice in a calendar year. I think that's how he opened up with this whole thing. That's something I read that Georgia hasn't did. They haven't did in the last 15 years. We've had more wins versus
Oh,
Bama than Georgia
bro,
that has
that's nuts.
15 years or something. So
Yeah, some got to be said about the SEC, man. Right? We ain't gonna touch on it too much today, but I think we were like, there was like three or four teams. I was like Big Ten teams. I was underdogs, SEC teams, and whooped on them in this bowl season. So
yeah, no,
I
I
find
think
that
I
kind
think
of funny.
it's a whole other conversation, but I think it's leveling out a little bit.
Mhm.
The fact that everybody can openly pay, I really do think it's leveling out because
Yeah,
me and you watch a lot of them sports podcasts. People say that them Florida schools is paying, them
yeah,
Georgia's paying. We all know Bama was dropping off fucking Chargers.
Corvettes. Yeah,
Yeah,
for
it's
sure.
so I think it's a little more the fact that it's all the wild wild west now. I think it's balancing out a little bit. And in general, I just like the momentum we have finishing that season off, and then I can't hope but think if we would have not laid an egg versus Washington, or not laid an egg versus Illinois.
Boy, been in the
I think we lost
mix.
to Oregon by 10. So, I think, or
Yeah,
one of them schools, we had no business being in the game. So I think in general, you look at
we
those, you
all five of our losses.
three or two
Four of the
teams.
three of the teams are in the college football playoff.
Yeah,
Yeah. Illinois, and Washington. Those are the only ones that. Yeah, they would definitely let us in at 9-3. No doubt in my mind.
yeah.
They would have
So
got
I
in at
agree.
nine
So
and
yeah,
three.
we were right in that hunt. We just kind of, a little bit of cleaner play, definitely better
Mm-hmm.
quarterback play. I think we a whole different season. So I think favorable season heading in next year. Bryce is already practicing
Yeah.
with the squad. We got two good backs from him. I think we can continue exactly what we've been doing. Back to
Mm-hmm.
back to Hassan Haskins and Blake Corum, and Blake Corum and Edwards, and then Edwards and Clear Mullen. I think we keep that 1-2 combo. I think I see the same thing with Justice Hayes and Jordan
Well, Jordan
Marshall.
Marshall tipped the cap, man. I mean,
Yeah, big
freshman run the
6'5"
ball like
receiver
that.
from Indiana. Big.
Yeah.
I think we just compiling
Better D
a little
linemen,
bit of a
linebackers.
yeah, I like it, man. And we don't get too much into it, but in general, this is you know,
I took the
I think
cap is strong
we're not as blind eyed as I see. I think we've been so critical at the squad that we see the real work they're putting in,
for
and
sure.
we're not like, oh, we're just gonna roll into it with the squad we got. No, we're compiling assets and
Mm-hmm. Like
and
enough
making
is enough.
yeah.
Like this is your year to get us.
Even going to get my man from Fresno State, big time backup quarterback signing. Again, that's what we said. We want a guy that played real college football, had
Yep.
good 10, I said minimum 10, 12 starts. He has
30 or
30
40.
something starts, yeah, under his belt, 8,800 passing yards in his career. Like that's a guy you can learn from. That's a guy that, knock on wood for us, if he had to come in and win a game or two, I don't feel half bad about it. He probably would have started for us this year. He
Yeah.
would. So
Absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. So yeah, no, looking forward to, it might be one of them years we jet over to the spring game, a lot of new faces.
we should.
Bryce Underhood should be, QB1, first guy under center, throwing it around a little bit. So looking forward to just hearing more about that. We'll touch on obviously stuff around the combine, draft time as that comes up too. But yeah, we'll shift sports here and talk about the Pistons for a little bit. Yeah, they're 8-3 in their last 11. Um, just beat the Timberwolves tonight. I don't think we are good enough yet to call it favorable or like, any game a gimme, but we do have a favorable matchup. The Trailblazers rolling into town. I'm on the six. So yeah, just want to kind of see your thoughts, E. Unfortunately we did, or yeah, I guess I'll say two. Unfortunately, we ended up losing Ivy. Should be getting him back March 1st, which is probably about as good as news you can get based on the injury that we all
Anyhow,
saw.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, just want to kind of see your thoughts on where the Pistons, what they've been looking like the last few weeks. Some
Uh,
great wins
I,
in there too.
yeah, some great wins. So overall, I'm thrilled. This is exactly what I thought we would have had this time last year. So I think we've made last year's gains and this year's gains all in one season. We're I think 17 and 18 after tonight's win versus Minnesota. You know, Cade has been exactly the player you want him to be. I think like
Mhm.
24 points, 10 assists, 5 rebounds a game. Taking big time shots when he has to. They went out and really spent some money. Tobias Harris has not been the Tobias Harris of old, but between him and Hardaway, you get one of them guys on every night.
Ability.
And then you got Malik Beasley just dropping dynamite on everything, like top 5 in the league in threes made this year. Um, Duran is playing well. You got so I think in general, you see the gains that they've made. And just coming off that road trip the other day, I was looking at it before we hit the road trip. I seen Phoenix, I seen Lakers, I seen Sac. I was like, we gonna maybe come out of here 1-2, if we're lucky. I was kind of doing another thing, and then 3-0 across the board. Cade going basket for basket with KD, going basket for basket with LeBron the night after, getting 2 dubs in those games. And so I'm saying all that to say, man, I'm thrilled. I think this shows the difference when you can put together a real roster. So Trajan Langdon's doing his thing as far as cooking up that spacing, getting Cade help. We're gonna miss Ivy a lot for the next couple of months here, but I think that it was, like you said, best case scenario. Watching that video, I thought he probably tore three different 3-letter word ligaments, maybe dislocated the knee. I thought it was gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
And so nobody wants a broken bone or fibula either, but I definitely thought he had a couple of ligaments torn and would have sidelined him for to 2026 basically. But nope, he got lucky on that. And for a player like him, not shooting him, not having those legs and or not losing his knees is prime because he don't. So he can stay flexible and momentum and that quick jumping is all I'm trying to say. So overall, man, we got something going, bro. I'm thrilled by it. Actually, when I ran out and bought some tickets, I'm gonna head to a game at the end of the month. So
Nice. What game you going? Who you seen
but
play?
I meant to tell you, I think I might have. It's the Ferris alumni night thing. So they yeah, but we bought them like a month or two ago. We going to the Mavs. To the Mavs.
That's what's up. That'd be
Yeah,
a good little matchup too.
yeah.
Yeah, no, they like no, you hit it on the head, bro. I mean, it's been fun to watch until they took Meth streams away from us. I even had like one night, one more. I had like a little bit more of an earlier morning, just couldn't fall back asleep, and I get on Twitter and I see that we were down like 10 points to this Kings, and ended up winning on like a game-winning 4-point play. So they were just able to like I think I was telling you like our I think I told you a few times like our goals last few years is like how can we get to the team that you can't just dilly dally with on the Tuesday night
Yeah.
and then start to kind of like steal some of these wins. Like this 2-3 years ago, this would have easily been an 0-5 Western Conference or West Coast road trip. But they were able to finish, yeah, what, 4-1, 3-1, whatever, however long they were
Yeah.
out there. I think they ended up and even like, we're able to steal that game against Orlando, even with Ivy going out and Played a tough one with the Hornets last night. They're playing a lot of teams tough. I mean, even the loss they had against the Jazz, like I think the Jazz had like 9 threes in the first quarter, so they just kind of like jumped on them, but they ended up only losing by like 7. So like, it was Nuggets kind of got the best of us, but it was definitely a couple um, you know, runs here and there from having a couple other W's and being over 500 now. But I think we got a real opportunity to get over 500 on Monday. We can just hover around that. We're actually right now, on pace for 36, 38 wins.
Yeah.
That should definitely earn a playing spot. I'm confident in it, and hoping to see, us, Trajan do something. I'm at the trade deadline just to I still think we need a backup point guard. I think that would help out Cade even more. And yeah, just kind of see what happens from here.
Yeah. Yeah. I agree with the backup point guard. And I I don't know. I guess maybe a rim protector, just like a big brute, like
Yeah,
somebody that could
for
that
sure.
kind of take a little bit
Isaiah
of that.
Stewart looking pretty good too.
Yeah, he is. Isaiah Stewart's looking real solid, but I think I mean like a 7 foot. I think somebody just to kind of because Duran can be a little lackadaisical on the rim
On
protection from time
defense,
to time.
yeah.
Yeah,
No, for
so
sure. Like
I think
more rim protection.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. I think those would be the two keys. But I mean
got you.
those nights were Beasley. It's wonderful. I remember the days even last year looking at the box score, we'd be like 7 of 32 from three. So it's amazing to see. We sitting around 16 to 35. We
Yeah,
15 to 30. And that just is a difference maker with Cade kind of orchestrating it all. Um, you know, Bickerstaff just holding it down. It's kind of some of those like I think I sent it to you before we hopped on here, but kind of the just out of bounds plays. We had a great, I can't think of who we had a great out of bounds play to win the game a couple of weeks ago, maybe a month ago at this point. Um,
hmm,
we had another one earlier today with alley oop from the inbounds. I think those type of things
yeah.
you can see that's what the coaches are cooking up. Um,
Bickerstaff, yeah,
just fun to watch. And so that's I can't ask for nothing else from the Pistons other than finish strong here and you know I entirely anticipate watching us in playoff type basketball this year, which is going to be fun to watch.
yeah. Like I said, for me, it's like at minimum, can we get like that last 2, 3 weeks of the season to be competitive? You know what I mean? Like all you can ask for is for them to play as meaningful basketball as long into the season as possible. Because I think players like Cade, they start to kind of get that blood in their mouth. You know what I'm saying? Kind of
Mm-hmm.
understand what's at stake and just a player of his caliber, he only gonna keep playing better and better as the games get more and more meaningful. Because he, obviously it'd be fantastic for him to start to get his resume going as far as like playoff appearances and things along those lines. So. Yeah, and we ain't gonna get into it, but I just can't believe this same. I mean, obviously, we got a couple different players, but like, no way this team should have been a 14-win team last year.
That was
They both have 30
we've
wins.
seen the tweets come across, but Monty Williams should be arrested for that shit for taking the money.
Yeah,
It
for
was
sure. That was
it makes
malpractice.
you wonder. It makes you wonder. Like yeah.
Like,
I'm not saying we would have been playoffs, but we
yeah,
were a 25, 28 win team last year, no doubt.
for
We were.
sure.
No,
Yeah,
but it's those bad days make this days that much better because 17 and 18, I'm thrilled about. It's you like you said, you keep that momentum up, it probably is more than 38, probably hovering right around that 40 win, 38 win.
yeah,
That's a respectable season from what we've had. I mean, that's
absolutely.
you know, we might match our win total this year from the last 2 years.
Yeah,
We
no, for
should. We
sure.
should.
That it ain't gonna be. Yeah, it wouldn't be hard to do. I think we got like 26. Yeah,
We
26
definitely.
wins the last 2 seasons. We're gonna end up shattering that here in about a month and a half or so. Yeah, just want to check in here before we log off. But Michigan got the dub against USC over there on the West Coast. They going 11-3 to start the season.
Yeah.
Danny
We're looking
Wolf,
good too. We got to
21, 13, and 7. I mean,
No,
they
we
yeah,
got to hop on there too. I like our little twin tower pick and roll thing we be doing. We got
yeah. All five starters in double digits. Um, Nehemiah Burnett, 16 points, Trey Donaldson,
I
16
can't think of
points.
his name right now, but we signed top Michigan player to Flintstone. Yeah,
Oh
I'm liking
yeah,
the coach. I wasn't big on him, but I like he jump started it quick. And
yeah. That's all you can ask for going in like deep in the conference play, 11-3. They're
Yep.
gonna win 10 to 12 more games in the conference. Um, and I mean, even if you're in that like 9 to 10 range, that's gonna be a 7, 8, 9 seed in the tourney. That's
Yeah.
gonna be at least like a first round bye in the Big Ten championship tournament as well
Tournament.
too.
Yeah. Yeah. No,
So
yeah, I'm
they're
liking, I'm
positioned
liking,
well.
yeah, we got a lot of good, like you said, a lot of good things happening in sports around here. Um,
Hmm.
we're gonna try to come back, get that good rhythm going of football,
Oh
basketball.
yeah.
No, but I'm liking it. So, you got anything else for the people? We got
Oh,
big
that's
one
all I
tomorrow.
got.
We'll be in the middle of it one day from now. So hopefully you know, we got good things to talk about.
For
Yeah.
sure.
No, for
Absolutely.
sure.
Be back with y'all next week.
Yes, sir.
Peace.